The sound of the rain tapping on the rusted zinc roof was the only thing that masked the quiet sobs coming from inside the small, one-room house in Nanka, Anambra State. Nina lay curled on the thin mattress she shared with her younger brother, Uchenna. At 17, she had already known more pain than many lived through in a lifetime. Her mother had died giving birth to Uchenna. Her father, a bricklayer, had passed away 3 years ago in a side accident. Since then, life had been one long stretch of sacrifice, struggle, and silence. She was supposed to be writing WAEC exams with her classmates this year, but she had dropped out after junior secondary school. There was no money for school fees. Instead, she cleaned people's houses, fetched water, and sold fruits at the junction to feed herself and Uchenna. Still, no matter how heavy life became, she clung tightly to her dreams, to become a teacher, to stand in front of blackboard, to be called Miss Nina. But tonight, those dreams felt like foolish fantasies. That morning, her fruit tray had overturned in the market after a Danfo brushed past her. Half the fruits were damaged. The woman she worked for yelled at her and deducted the loss from her week's pay. She went home with nothing. Uchenna had gone to bed with just Gary soaked in water. Nina hadn't eaten at all. She wiped her tears and sat up. Her eyes caught the old cardboard box under the wooden stool, the one that held her father's tattered books and her mother's worn teaching certificate. She opened it. Inside was a wrapped envelope she hadn't noticed before. Carefully, she unfolded it. It was a letter, handwritten in her father's bold script. To my Nina, if life ever becomes too hard, remember this. You are stronger than your circumstances. You carry the strength of your mother's wisdom and the fire of my hands. Don't let poverty steal your purpose. Rise. Even if you crawl at first, keep moving. One day, your story will be one others read when they're ready to give up. She clutched the letter to her chest, something stirring deep inside her. The pain was still there, but so was the fire. That night, she made a vow. She would not remain a victim of her situation. She would turn her tears into fuel. The next morning, Nina rose before dawn. She cleaned, prepared Uchenna's clothes, and took him to school. Then, instead of heading to the fruit stand, she walked to a nearby secondary school and waited outside the gate until the principal arrived. "What do you want, my dear?" the principal asked, a bit surprised by the determined-looking girl in a faded wrapper. "I want to teach," she said simply. The principal looked her up and down. "Have you written WAC?" "No, sir. I can teach primary 1 or 2. I know the alphabet, multiplication tables, and I read books every night." He sighed. "You're too young, and without certification, my hands are tied. I won't collect salary, sir. Just let me help. Let me learn." He stared at her for a long moment. "Come tomorrow," he finally said. "Let's see what you can do." That one chance was all Nina needed. She showed up every day, assisting teachers, helping pupils, cleaning the classroom. Within 2 weeks, the primary 1 teacher fell ill, and the principal asked Nina to stand in. By the end of the week, the pupils were clapping for her, singing rhymes she taught them, and parents were asking about the new teacher with the soft voice. Word spread. One afternoon, a woman dressed in a neatly tailored Ankara gown stopped by the school. She watched Nina teaching under the mango tree because the classroom was overcrowded. When the lesson ended, she approached. "You're the girl I've heard about." Nina nodded shyly. "My name is Mrs. Okafor. I run a community program for girls like you, girls who couldn't finish school but still have fire in their bones. I want to sponsor you to take WAEC and apply to a college of education." Nina couldn't believe it. She almost collapsed right there under the tree. Months passed. Nina studied like her life depended on it, because it did. At night, she read by kerosene lamp while Uchenna slept beside her. Sometimes, hunger gnawed at her, but she pressed on. On the day of her WAEC exams, she walked 3 kilometers to the center with dust on her shoes and hope in her chest. She passed, with distinction. She got admitted into the Nwafar or Raizu College of Education in Sugby. Mrs. Okafor's foundation covered her fees, and Nina got a part-time job helping with lesson plans at a local school. Uchenna moved with her to Nsugbe, and she continued caring for him. It wasn't easy. There were nights when they had only boiled yam and palm oil, days when she fell sick but couldn't afford medication. But Nina never missed a lecture. She raised her hand in class. She volunteered to tutor others. By her final year, she was selected to give a speech on behalf of her department. Standing at the podium, dressed in a borrowed gown and slippers she had scrubbed until they shone, she began. I was the girl who was written off, the one they said wouldn't finish secondary school. But today, I stand here not just as a graduate, but as proof that pain can shape purpose. I cried, yes, but I also climbed. And today, I rise. The auditorium erupted in applause. Her lecturers stood. Some had tears in their eyes. Years later, after working in several schools, Nina opened her own learning center in Anambra, the Firelight Academy. It catered to children from poor backgrounds, offering free lessons, mentorship, and meals. She named it after the kerosene lamp she once used to study at night. Her journey had started in a room filled with tears, but she turned her sorrow into strength, her hunger into a hunger for knowledge, her brokenness into a blueprint for purpose. Nina's story became one told in schools, in churches, on radio stations across Nigeria. But to her, the greatest reward was not the applause. It was the quiet satisfaction of seeing a child sit taller in class, eyes wide with belief, because she knew, better than anyone, what it meant to go from tears to triumph.